here. And Infoporte is a UNC system internally. Some of you in other academic centers may have something similar. No, that's the cheat sheet. Sorry. Let me go over here. Okay, can you all see Infoporte up in the upper left? Great. So this isn't perfect front and center, but it will help us hopefully help you with a couple of new things and give you a little more autonomy to purchase things as you need them and not worry about going through us every single time. So this is the page. When you click on that link on the cheat sheet, will take you here. And I'll call your attention to our nice logo over here. There are many, many cores in this system. So we are focused on the Walk with Ease core. So you'll come over here to the external customers, and no matter who you are, where you're from, you're going to choose academic, just the way it is. Okay, so this takes you to our store, we'll call it. Right now, your shopping cart is empty on the left, and we have all of what they've called services here, but it's really those things that you most typically would want to purchase in the portal. So we have everything that we have offered to date, and this could change throughout the year. Prices could change. They haven't yet. We'll give you heads up if there's anything newly added or newly changed. But you'll see we have the ability to purchase the first year of the portal, the ability to purchase any year after that, CCG portal purchase, print books, and we've separated out shipping and handling and the books. You may do this first one is everything together, shipping and handling and the book purchases. And we've also separated them out because we know that we have a couple of portal partners who require them to be separated. So hopefully this will satisfy your needs and not be confusing, but just pay attention if you're ordering print books to pick the option that you want, if you want it all together or if you need to have it split out between the books and shipping and handling. Digital books, CCG digital books, and then some of you know that we can add questions to our question bank for the assessments, the initial baseline assessment and the evaluation assessment. It's got loads and loads of questions in there already. We encourage you to look through and make sure that your needs are met already. But if you have the need to purchase or to add questions, you may purchase up to 3, and a block of 3, I should say. And same thing for URLs. Some of our portal partners have required additional URLs to get into their portal if they're working in different regions or with different partners locally or what have you. So that option is also present. So for example, I'll just do a real fast click, and we've tested this with a couple of you. So we're hoping it will be smooth for all the rest of you. If I were going to purchase the first year of the portal, I would go here. I want one portal. I just clicked on that portal first year. We want one. I don't have any special instructions, but if there were, you could click this box and put something in there. And we should not need any attached documents that I'm aware of at this stage, certainly not from our perspective. So just put in the quantity. I'm going to move all of you. I'm on a small screen and all of your lovely faces are blocking my screen view. And then you would just go down here and click add to cart. You'll see the subtotal there. And then just like any store, you'll see that populate in your store. If I wanted to get digital books, then I could go down here and click digital books. My quantity, let's say I want 50 digital books. No special instructions again, but if I had any special instructions, you could type those in for us and we would see those. You see your total over here, subtotal, and then you go down, add to cart, and so on and so forth to fill whatever it is that you would like to place in your particular order right now. You can edit your cart if you need to add or remove things. And then if you click checkout, once you're ready, see that everything you have is in there. We would have you complete your billing contact information. If you want to have an email, have the invoice that this system will generate, and I'll talk about that in a second, emailed to someone in particular, you can add the email here. You'll see all of the items in your cart down here, and then you scroll to the very bottom and you look you can see you've got payment down here. There are two options in this teeny tiny print. I'm sorry, it's really, really tiny. You can process with a credit card. This is new and quite exciting for those of you who would like to use a P card to purchase. You may now do that. And if you are an organization that requires a purchase order, you can still choose purchase order. I would recommend, well, a couple of things. If you have your purchase order number, you'll get the option, if you click on this box, to enter that purchase order number. And then you can place your order. An invoice will be emailed to you if you have a credit card. If you choose the credit card option, you will place your order, and the ability to enter your credit card information will come separately in a separate email. So be on the lookout for that. That's where the system isn't perfect. We would love to be able to do this all in one fell swoop, but this is the one we're working with. It's our limited system, but at least you can do a credit card. So credit card will come separately. The invoice will be emailed to you. So if you're an organization that needs an invoice to submit, you'll get that once you place the order. So I didn't fill out any of the billing contact information, but once I do that, then you place order and off you go. We get an internal notification. So if you ordered books, we will get notified that you want us to populate your portal with that number of books, whether it was digital or print, CCG. We will get notified about all of that. And if there are any questions from you to us, we can work those out. Us to you will work those out. We can confirm when those books have been populated in your portal. All of that would happen separately, but this sort of automates at least a portion of the purchase. And then for those of you who have been with us for a while, you have always emailed Serena asking her to populate your portal. You don't need to do that anymore. If you want to come in and just straight off the bat purchase more books for your portal, you can come here and just do that anytime you want to. And we will get the notification and go ahead and populate your books. Anything, Serena, that you can think of I've left out before I open it for questions?
I mean, you can always email me. That's fine too. No, I think the only other thing, as you all know, the print books sometimes are in and out of stock. We will do our best to make sure that, if print books are not available, we'll come in here and like gray them out or shade them out so that they're not an option to order, so that there's less confusion if that happens. But just be aware of that one little sticking point. Questions from folks?
And certainly once you get in there and tinker, if you have a question, by all means, reach out.
Yep. Great. Okay. Thank you, Kirsten. I will make sure to send that cheat sheet to all of you. And I will also put it on a new page we are creating. Actually, Julie on our team is creating a kind of a hidden page on our website that will contain helpful information like the cheat sheet for Infoporte, the cheat sheet for the messaging system that I'm going to go over today, all of the portal partner onboarding directions, and the links to the recordings of these quarterly calls. And I think also the FAQ sheet as well. So that is to come soon. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and do a quick demo of the messaging system. So many of you know that we've been talking about doing building an internal messaging system, because currently all of our weekly emails live on MailChimp, which is kind of an external emailing service that has an API that connects to the back end of our portal. So every time you want to, edit any of the weekly emails or anything, it kind of has to go through me. I have to upload it on MailChimp. change it on MailChimp, and then it changes it for the portal. Well, now, oh, and there's one of those barks. We're going to have a system inside the portal so that you all are able to edit your own weekly emails, as well as weekly text messages, because texting will now be an option for your participants as well. You can create different campaigns for different enhanced groups. All of this will hopefully make things a little bit easier for you to manage on your own. I'm going to go ahead and just dive into the demonstration. I'll get through it all, and then just let me know if you have any questions. So right now I am in our staging site. So if you log into your administrative site, you're not going to see this yet. Our goal is to push it out next Monday. We had originally wanted to push it out before this call, but then I started thinking probably better for me to do the demonstration first, and then push it out. And we're still waiting on some information from kind of the system that is being built into our portal to ensure that we are approved to send all these messages. So once this is pushed out to the portal partners, you will see a new tab up top called Messages. When you click on that, you'll see you get two different options: Edit Campaigns and Assign Campaigns. So if you go ahead and click on Edit Campaigns, you'll see when you first open it up, you'll see that there are two campaigns. There's going to be the default English campaign and the default Spanish campaign. These are the ones that kind of are our beginning templates. So when you all were coming on board, we sent you these templates and we said, make any edits to these. We'll change them and upload them into MailChimp. Now they're here for you to be able to change if you want to, or just leave as they are. If you don't make any changes, your participants will receive the default campaign. Let me go ahead. I've got to move all these pictures out of my way. So the default campaign here in English, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this so you can see this. Will pop up right here, and they're all on one page. Okay, so this is the welcome email that everyone gets when they first register for Walk with Ease, and then they go week by week after that. The system will automatically put your logo here at the top. Okay. So when you see this on when you log into your administrative site, you'll see your logo here. If you would like to see how these default campaigns look, you can go ahead and put in your phone number here or your email here and go ahead and preview them, and you'll be able to see kind of what they look like when they come across. So you'll see over on the left-hand side some bubbles that just show up some of these there's an information bubble that you can hover over to get more information. We have these throughout the messaging center to give you some more details. Right now, it does look like you can make edits to the I'm sorry, it's so bad, the hacking that's happening behind me. It looks like you can edit these here, but you cannot. When you are in the default campaign, you can't make any edits anywhere. The text message will look like you can edit it, but you cannot. And I'll show you where you do make the edits. So I'm just going to scroll slowly so you can see there's week 1, what the email looks like, week 2, etc. Okay, so all of the campaigns are in here. So if we go back to the campaigns page. What you're going to want to do if you want to create any new campaign, even if you want to not just edit or tweak the template, the existing default campaign, if you want to start a completely different looking one, you're still going to have to start by duplicating the default campaign. So that's kind of what I have done here. I've got a duplicate of in English, I've got a duplicate in Spanish, I've got another duplicate that I did, and I named it, specifically for senior centers. So here, I'm just going to go here into my duplicate for senior centers and give it a minute. And you'll see it looks slightly different. It's got kind of boxes around everything. So again, your logo will be here, but if you want to edit any of this, you can go in and edit the content here. Okay. And then you will make sure that you make all your edits. You'll probably want to just save after each campaign or each edit you make in here. Just click on Save All to make sure that you have saved your changes. Okay. Also, the default will be for the default campaigns to be active. The duplicated campaigns will not be active unless you go in here and make sure that they're active. Okay. So all these boxes were originally unchecked. I had to go in and click right next to the box and then click on the box to make sure that it's active. Okay, so I'm just going to pause there and see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to raise your hand or just throw them out at me. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the assigning messages piece. So click on assigning these campaigns, and you can see right here, they're all going to default to the default campaign. Anything that is checkmarked as a Spanish group is going to default to the Spanish campaign. So let's say for the senior center group, I want to assign the senior center campaign. So I'm just going to come here, click on it to get my drop down, and then I'll click on senior centers to assign the senior centers campaign to the senior center group. Another feature with this is going to be the start date. This has been kind of a sticking point for some of our partners, because with MailChimp, we needed a trigger to start the campaigns. And the only trigger that we could have at the time with MailChimp was when the participant clicked start the program. That could be our only trigger. And so now that we have this internal messaging system, we are able to control the start date. So if you have a group and you maybe have an enhanced group and they are all going to be starting the program on September 1st, then you can go into here and make sure that they get that week 1 email on September 1st. So you come in here, you click September 1st, and they'll get it. Now, if you hover over the I, you'll see that this might mean that if somebody goes in and clicks on it, if they've registered and they click on start before you've assigned a campaign or anything, they might get duplicates. But it should hold off all the emails until that start date of 9/1. Okay, so I'll pause again. Questions about that?
Hi, Serena. This is Margaret in Washington. Is there a way to do a custom without the default for Camino con Gusto?
There is not. You have to start with the default. And if you want to go in and delete it all and build back up from the beginning, you can do that, but you have to start with the default.
And Serena, you might have already said this. I'm sorry if I missed it, but when will we have access to this, or how do we get access to it? Is it separate from
Nope,
like
this
portal
will-
access?
No, it'll be pushed out to all your portals, hopefully next Monday, late Monday. We are kind of waiting on kind of approval from the API that we built in. And so we're hoping that comes through this week. I'll just have to let you know if for some reason it doesn't.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And I will definitely email you all to give you an update next Monday. If it's not going to go through on Monday, I'll let you know if we've got kind of a new estimated launch date. But once this is pushed out, then you should just open up your admin site and you'll see this new feature.
Serena, this is Greg. I have a question about the Camino con Gusto as well. So if we're running people that are both English and Spanish in the same version, do you recommend creating or letting them opt into a language of choice, right? So they can either choose the English version or the other, but they would be enrolled in a different campaign, but we can ensure that they're getting the same messaging if we...
Well, so you would have to go ahead. If you're going to change the English campaign, you'll have to get it translated. And
yeah, we would have to do the same thing in the Spanish, and then but we could manage them as they would have to be managed in separate campaigns. So the people that choose to have the Spanish version would be in one campaign and the people that would be in the other, but both could be matched.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I did want to also show you under setup, this is another way to assign the campaigns. So when you're creating your groups, number 3, under Senior Center, I just keep using that example. You'll see when this comes through that there is, if you've got a campaign set up, you can assign it right from there, right from your enhanced group. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, do senior centers and I'm gonna start my campaign on this date. So that's another place. It does the exact same thing as, assigning the campaigns up here. It's just a different place to look at it. So questions about the current messaging system, and then I'll go into kind of what's coming up. Okay, I am going to reshare the agenda quick so you all can see this. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to let you know before I go into new messaging center features that are going to be coming out hopefully in October-ish, is that we are going to be increasing the prices for the portal in 2024. So in 2024, a new portal will cost $3,000 and a renewal will cost $2,000. So just wanted to get that on your radar if you've got, any budgeting that's coming up. Obviously, all of you already have your portal, so you'll just be thinking about renewing, and that renewal fee is going to go up to $2,000 per year. Okay, so in the works, one of the really exciting things that our developer Sarah has been working on is a coach level. So right now, the way the portal is built, there's kind of, you all as administrators, and then there's the participants. And so there wasn't any kind of in between. So if you had someone who was assigned as a coach to a certain group of participants, they didn't really have direct access to view the participants' activities or to message them or any of that. So we are building in a coach level so that you as administrators will be able to assign coaches to a group or to individual participants. And when that happens, they will be able to see the participants' walking reports. They'll be able to see, whether they've set their goals, what they've set their goals and achieved through each week of the program. They'll also be able to send messages to the participants, to their assigned participants, either through email or text, depending on how the participant has kind of opted into the communication. And then kind of hand in hand with that is bi-directional messaging that we are then going to be building out. So the coach will be able to reach out to the participants. The participants will then also be able to reach out to the coach. So they'll be able to respond to the coach, but everything will go through the portal. So no one will have like personal email or phone numbers. So they're not going to know that level of detail, but they will be able to communicate with each other back and forth. The other thing that the bidirectional will be able to do is it will be able to request certain data from the participant and automatically populate the portal database. So for instance, a text could be sent out that says, "Have you walked today?" And if the participant says yes, then the system will say, "How many minutes?" And then the participant will enter the number of minutes, and that will be populated into the database so that the participant doesn't even have to log into the portal to be able to track their minutes and their days of walking. Like I said, we're hoping that the coach level is rolled out in the next month, or so, hopefully by early October. The bidirectional database population might take a little bit longer, but we're still hopeful that it'll be done this calendar year. So questions about that? Karita, I see your hand raised.
Thank you. Quick question. Will you be able to schedule those bi-directional meetings in advance, or will you just need to go in and do it as you go? Thank you.
Yeah, the bidirectional, so the text to and from the participants and coaches, that will help happen between them. I don't think that there's going to be an opportunity to schedule those in advance. That would just have to be done through the messaging center. And then for the database population bidirectional, there will be similar to what there are now with the messaging center with defaults. So there will be certain default questions and answers to actually populate the database. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Any other questions? And the coach level messaging is going to be something that you'll need to enable on your end. So it's not like everyone who registers, if you've got 500 people registering, it's not like they're all going to be able to start texting back to you. And that's only something that if you are an administrator and then also assign yourself to a coach, as a coach, and then you assign yourself to a certain group of participants, then you'll be able to message back and forth with participants, but it's not like all the participants who are registering under your portal are all of a sudden going to have access to texting you as an administrator. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
And then, sorry, question to clarify from that. This is Erin, by the way. Is it something where you'd have to, similar to like the email campaigns, where you have to basically like authorize that you're doing the text messaging within this group, or will it just be available to anyone who's using the portal?
So the text messages, so starting from the beginning, the registration page is going to look a little different for participants. So the participants will have the option to select how they want to be notified, either email or text message. If they select to be notified via text message, then they will just get the text message that's in the default. They won't get the email that's in the default. So you'll want to make sure that if you have a new campaign that you want to have, you'll want to make sure that you have a text message that corresponds with your email. So like for week 1, there's a text message and then there's an email message. But maybe I'm not understanding your question.
I think it does kind of answer my question. I just was thinking, to your point of like, you could go in and make yourself a coach and then assign yourself to these people, and then you could be communicating back and forth. I just was confirming that like that, to have that functionality, it's like something we would have to sort of opt into. Like it's not a situation where every person who's going through the portal is going to just start sending text messages at us.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right. And they might not even choose text. They might choose email. So yeah, and there's going to be an option for like, as a coach, if you don't want to get real-time text messages from your participants, you can select to have, a daily summary of the texts that you get, so that you won't even have to, have them all come to your phone. You can just log into the portal and you can see the messages that have been sent to you that day. You can respond through the portal instead of responding on your phone, if you want to do that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sarah did a brief demo of how this is looking. I think it's looking really good and really intuitive. But kind of like we've done with this whole portal, I mean, we just are trying things out and tweaking them if they don't work. So your partnership in this and your collaboration and your willingness to share ideas and thoughts and criticisms as these systems come out is going to be really helpful. We're just building the plane as we fly it, so to speak. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hop down to the next point. But if you have anything else, just feel free to jump in or raise your hand. I do want to make sure that we have some time for all of you to share any hot news or successful things you have going on. So I'll just pause, and if you have something, just feel free to jump in. Nothing coming up, nothing exciting, no new partnerships or cool marketing tools or Karita. Yeah. Hi.
I'm a little chatterbox today.
No, that's great.
Thank you. I started my pilot with Walk with Ease, and so I'm going into, I guess, what I would consider my first full complete cohort. And
Yeah.
I'm partnering with the city of Bellefonte Neighbors in St. Louis, Missouri. So we are, and I am working on the enhance. What I did was on the OAA site, and I came across some things with enhancements. So what I'm working on now is taking the 6-week schedule that they had with the 3 sessions for each weekly session, and I'm kind of personalizing that to the needs of the community. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I'm going to do a session 0. I found some PowerPoint somewhere that I was able to personalize. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. Thank you for allowing me to share.
That's great. Thanks, Karita. I look forward to hearing how it goes. Great.
I just shared a link to a graphic that we posted on Facebook recently. It's just to promote physical activity more broadly, but I'm hoping to use it to promote the portal too. And I just thought it was cool, so I thought I would share.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Nadia. Great. Oh, yes. Very cool. Cool. Anybody else gearing up for anything in the fall? I know it's kind of hard when it's like over 100 degrees here today. It's hard to think about fall, but
I'll chime in, Serena. This is Greg. So I guess I have more of a question maybe than a update, but one thing we're working towards is kind of standardizing the items we're choosing for, the registration and evaluation so that we can compare outcomes across people that are doing self-directed, hybrid, or group. And so one of the key variables that this is one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Serena, is adding additional items into the chooser. So originally you would describe that if we share or send you a list of items, you could add those and we could pay for those for others. But I guess I'm open to getting feedback from others if questions about social support would be of interest. So under the social category in the portal chooser, they're more about social connection, but not really social support. So we've been tinkering with reduced sets of items that would be like what level of social support they have to continue their walking as kind of a predictor of their success. But I don't know if others have been interested in that. And one of our goals then would be that I guess we would hypothesize that the social support that evolves from a group version of Walk with Ease might be an advantage over those that do self-directed because they're not going to have the social cohesion, if that makes sense.
I'll just jump in. So my name is Georgie and I'm with the Minnesota Department of Health and I'm an evaluator. So for the last year, we've been kind of working on determining which questions we would choose and not choose for our registration and evaluation surveys.
Yeah.
And originally we had selected a ton of the questions and we found that was probably a hindrance to getting people from that registration screen to fully, being into the program. So we chose about a year ago to pare down the questions. So that was one of the things that we were thinking about is which ones are the priority. And one of the areas was social isolation and social connectedness. So I think that's something we're thinking about, but we also want to be mindful about, is the number of questions a barrier to people registering? So yeah, that's my perspective.
Yeah, we've done the same thing. We're paring it down to the bare minimum, but then across all of the people on the call here, it'd be interesting to develop a core set that we encourage more people to use. And I don't know if Serena, if you've thought of that, or just so that then most people would be encouraged to use some standardized items across the country. I know that we can't do that always, but if there was a set of foundational items that everyone agreed on, then we could try to get some consistency across projects to look at things going on across the country.
Yeah, I would be totally in support of that, Greg. I would be, I mean, we would certainly, if, you know, all our portal partners, or at least the majority of them, wanted to review maybe the measures you've got in mind, and kind of say, okay, we would include, you know, this one and this one in our surveys. We definitely waive the fee for adding those to the portal. If people would agree to then add them to those registration and post program or evaluation.
Yeah, I can, for example, Georgie, I could share our set with you, and you guys can say you're using some or others, and maybe there is some consistency already, but.
Yeah, for sure. I really like that idea.
Okay.
I think that would be great. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is Kirsten. I just wanted to chime in on that thought that we've talked a little bit on a very, very early stage level about long-term maintenance for Walk with Ease. And we're hoping to be able to raise some funds to build a phase of maintenance to extend somebody's ability to track in the portal. But to the point where we are right now, of course, the program is only 6 weeks long. It's great. It's fantastic. It gets somebody going, but probably isn't sufficient for that long-term habit formation. So I can appreciate where social support could be a predictor of, you know, a longer term habit formation. If somebody has a way or a person or a coach or, you know, whatever that might look like for them, it would be interesting to assess that. And maybe at some point I could also see if we are fortunate to be able to build a maintenance phase into the portal,
Right.
then we could still have that be a question, but sort of compare and see, okay, who goes on to develop those longer term habits by participating for more than just those first 6 weeks.
Yeah, we're already, I'd be very interested in the follow-up of a 6-month or 1-year follow-up. We're doing that anyway, but if it could be built into the portal, then again, it creates a way to standardize, and the person would get perhaps prompted, like, as a past participant, please fill out the survey. It's always difficult to get people to do that, but it's yeah, it would be nice to be able to track those outcomes across time. I guess while you have that screen up, Serena, the other thought, if we ever get to a standardized battery, then maybe there could be a button that says recommended, or like, so that people would know which one should I choose.
Right.
So the required means that, you know, you're going to force a person to fill it out, but maybe there's a couple highlighted ones with, or maybe it's an asterisk that you put under certain items that a person using the portal would know, oh, these are the foundational ones that maybe everyone else is using.
Yeah. That would be great. I'm going to add that to the wish list.
Yeah, because we already have the ability to look at aggregate data, you know, with permission across the different portal partners, but to look at everybody's data on an aggregate form. And it would be interesting to sort of maximize the number of participants who have completed certain questions, just so you have a nice, robust data set. You know, I mean, I think I'd have to dive into the data to see where we are right now, but we have collectively across all of your guys' hard work and a little bit from the OA Action Alliance, you know, we have over 11,000 people in the portal. And so it's a robust data set that has a lot of possibility for evaluation. And it would be nice to have, you know, a significant majority of those people answering all the same questions or a core set of questions, so that would make for a nice evaluation possibility.
Yep. Absolutely. Right. Okay, I did want to take a few minutes, if no one else has any other you know, hot news to share. Are there any features within the portal that you need clarified, or another demonstration of them? I know it feels like things are changing all the time. And I do want to just circle back to what I mentioned earlier about, we're developing that web page that's going to have links to all the portal partner directions and cheat sheets and that kind of thing. So I send out those PDFs pretty regularly, but if you want to bookmark that page when I send it to you, then you'll have those demos, or at least the screenshots and directions for all of them. But sometimes it's nice to just see them in person. So anybody want anything shown? Okay, well, good. Also wanted to just kind of see, I know this is just kind of a last minute request, but is there anything that you wish you had known or had done prior to starting using the portal? I'll just kind of leave that one there. If there's anything that you wish you had done or had known prior to starting to use the portal, we're just really thinking about how to continue to improve our onboarding process and training process. So want to make sure that we're really clear up front about the portal and how to use it, and the features, etc. So if you're thinking, if you think about anything, please just let us know. I see, I'm looking in the chat here. Once the coach level is rolled out, someone else be willing to present how it's used. State. Oh yeah, happy to share any of this. Definitely. I know that coaches are becoming more common, and I love that, because I think that support is really, really important for so many people when making behavior changes. And so I'm really hoping that the coach level is a useful tool for a lot of you, at least those of you who are doing anything with coaches. Okay. Well, we have just a few minutes left. Anybody have anything they want to jump in with? All right. Well, our next call is going to be November 13th at 1:30. Just wanted to check in really quick. Is that an okay date? Sometimes I have picked holidays. Is that a holiday for anybody?
Well, I know that's right around Veterans Day, but I'm trying to think when the actual holiday would fall.
A holiday. I think it's on the Friday before. I think it's on the 10th.
Yeah, you're right. I just looked it up. It looks like it's the 10th, so
Okay.
should be good.
All right. Okay, everyone. So Monday, November 13th at 1:30 Eastern time. And then, as I mentioned, when this messaging system kind of gets populated into your systems, pushed out through the servers, I will definitely let you know. And next Monday, I'll give you an update if it is not going to happen next Monday, when it will happen for sure. So thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your summers and stay safe and happy and healthy. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.